Hi, Brandon Artist, President of Champion Strategies, with our ongoing series on public speaking workshop, giving you the opportunity to get some free material instead of you paying online. So if you have the discipline, the practice, that's why we put the content and the videos out there. We're going to continue where we left off on the last video, talking about your presence, talking about on stage capturing the audience. During a workshop, a client once concerned and consulted in me that it was many years ago that they had a boss who thought that they did great in red. So naturally, it was a female. He told the person that was talking to me that they should always wear red during presentations because it made the best impressions. So I've always worn red. What do you think of that advice? That's what she had told me. Now, don't know the ages of the people watching, but there's all kinds of HR violations all around that statement. We would have to dig deeper into it. But here's what I got out. If I had the opportunity to throw in some music from the Twilight Zone, if anybody remembers that old show with Rod Sterling, that was a tremendous show. But when I hear stuff like this, I want to channel the old game show host, Bob Barker. Come on down. You're the next contestant on bad public speaking advice from your boss. I always want to hunt down the bosses and tell them to cut it out. You're giving people the wrong information. You see, the business world around its presentation advice that wasn't that good. That's why they usually use outside companies to help them with that. But when it comes to this in this day and year, there's five pieces of advice I would like to give you and try to ignore some of the other things if you're going to do it for business. To reduce anxiety and image your audience naked, as some people had suggested to this person to do, that's silly. It's troubling. It doesn't work. The best way to deal with nerves is to relax a lot. What you need to be doing is making sure that your muscle memory, that you've already practiced, that you're prepared for this event. We don't have to be looking at people like they're naked. Another thing that people always misconstrue, you speak too fast, slow down. Now, slowing down makes you sound dull and really not that confident. Instead of slowing down, you probably should pause occasionally, catch your breath, let the listeners digest the information you just gave them. You know, we speak at about 140 words per minute. Listeners can comprehend it more than twice that rate, but no one speaks too fast. Put questions in the parking lot, answer them at the end. Also, many speakers like to park questions, the so called parking lot, meaning that they will get back to them later. The thing about this parking lot, it's one of the most stupid and wrong-headed ways of telling an audience. Because if you've ever sat in there, how often do they get back to the parking lot and address that issue? Nine times out of 10, they're forgotten, they've moved on to something else. Your listeners will let you know this because they'll be bothersome about you stating that you were going to go back to it, and you never did. So be careful of that. Always answer questions when the questions come up. Forget about the parking lot. Always try to start your presentation with something warm and open. Some folks like jokes, some folks have heard some things from the past, maybe something from a nursery rhyme child. You'll put it together. But if you're comfortable doing that and the humor doesn't offend anyone, uh, sure, we can try that. You don't want to over prepare. Now, I always talk about practice, but yes, we take practice like we would any other competitive team practicing. We don't do it day in, day out. We do it for a certain time frame, concentrating on a few things that we're looking at and shut it down. The next day, we go back at it, concentrate on something else, shut it down. Someone once approached me at a party and asked one sentence on how to be a great speaker. And I responded, I don't need a sentence. I only need one word: rehearse, practice. So if your boss is giving you some tips at work so you can be better trying to help out the team that you work for, listen because they are your boss. But many times they're the ones that is not in front of the room. You're the one that's in front of the room. And if they give you bad advice, you're going to be giving your audience a bad show. They won't hear the meaning of that content, that explosion, that takeaway that you want them to do once they get back to work from your speech. So be a little bit leery of that. Once again, Brandon Hardison, President of Champion Strategies, as always, imparting, you go out and you make it a